Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and today I am here to share with you the Holly Jolly Christmas bundle. So this is the stamp set and I adore this Santa. He is adorable, but we're not stamping with him. We are just stamping with these little Christmas trees. And I didn't do something beforehand. You guys might have to endure my horrible hand cutting today, but that's okay. Hey Roz, so this is the stamp set and this is the Jolly Season dies that coordinate with the Holly Jolly Christmas stamp set, and you can purchase those as a bundle. And this is the card we are going to make today. I have seen many versions of a card like this, and I'm doing my own spin on it. Hello, Miss Wendy. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a good day. Jamie, I thought you were going to the movies. Hey, Shelley, you told me you were going to the movies. Yet here you are to say hello. That's lovely. So we're going to make this Christmas card. I'm sponging again. Okay, no problems. A quick hello then. I'm going to do some sponging to create the night sky. I'm on a bit of a sponging spree at the moment in many different ways and different uses. So essentially this is a non-stamping card, and it is mostly, hey Penny, hey Donna, it is mostly die cutting and a punch, although this one is a discarded piece of an old die cut, but the one I have used a punch. So I am going to get my second screen up. I'm going to let's mute myself. I'm going to flick you guys around and let's get into it. Now, for the getting myself all sorted here before I flick you around. We've got constant rain here today. 10 p.m. in Florida, Roz. That's not too bad. Not too late today. Yeah, but we've got a dreary rainy day today. So crafting is the perfect option, I think, on a day like this. I have partially unpacked and tidied up from my class on the weekend, and this is one of the cards that I made in that class, and they all loved it. They were all, considering I had lots of different abilities in the class, they all did so well. I think we're all set up. Am I straight? Not quite. I think I'm straight. I think we're all good. Oh no, the flip was good today, Penny. We weren't too bad with the flip. Hey Margine, thanks for joining. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm a night owl too. So much so, I normally fall asleep on the lounge watching some type of crappy telly to wind down. But I will go turn off the light, get rid of these shadows, and we can get moving. Right, so this is essentially what we're using today. I have, and you guys are going to laugh, I have already die cut the sentiment, and I had sticky stuff on the back and it pulled off with the die cut, so it's just sitting on my water bottle, so I can't have a drink until I stick on that die cut. Just a bit of fun and frivolity here in the craft room today. I have pre-die cut our Santa's sleigh from some basic black ink. I've already done that. I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock for our trees. We forgot to wink Estella the trees in class. No. Oh no, I feel so sorry for all my class people. Hey Pamela, I don't think I've missed anyone coming in that has commented. Okay, and I've got, I might start with the sponging and then we're going to get on to the stamping. So I'm going to pop, I'm going to pop the stamp set out of the way, but we do have quite a few frames as well as some standalone stamp sets. 'Tis the season to be jolly, the tag, and the Santa sleigh, the stocking present, and Santa. He's rather gorgeous, which is the main reason why I bought the stamp set. Okay, pop this here, other way around. Pop that like that, and hopefully you can all see it in screen. And now I remember why my sponges were so wet the other day. It was from making this. Thanks, Pamela. Hey, Chris. Hey, Deb. Oh, you're only a little bit late. You're not too late at all. Okay, I think I used that one. And no, I used these two. So the colours, the three blues that we are playing with, this piece of cardstock is Balmy Blue, and we are going to sponge on Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy. That one is an escape artist. So this just makes making a night sky easier by starting with the blue cardstock, because I've already done a third of the work for myself. Actually, I want to open Pretty Peacock first. Right, that is all open. Now our sponges come in a big circle. I cut wedges off, and I have previously put little cardstock holders, but I don't really do that anymore. They just go as they go. So I normally do a bit of sponging off, and then I just, in circular motions, with pressure. So the pressure is part of the ink transfer. So the more heavy-handed you are, the darker it is going to be. And obviously the more ink you put down. So I'm sort of going 2/3 of the way down this 5 centimeter or 2-inch piece of Balmy Blue cardstock with the Pretty Peacock ink. And I haven't got too many sponge marks, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. I knew what you were saying, Deb. It's all good. It's all good. No need to apologise, because it's always available on the replay. So I'm happy with my Pretty Peacock part, and I just love how it goes on the Balmy Blue. And you know what? That is pretty much dry already, with not much ink left on it. Awesome. It was very wet after all 10 of us used it on class on the weekend. It was a full class. I maybe could have fitted one person at a squeeze, but it was very squeezy. Everyone was being very good friends, being close to each other and sharing products together. So with the Night of Navy, I'm not being as, I'm just going with the lighter hand, because it's such a dark colour. I can't take any ink away, but I can keep adding the ink. So I always dab it off, especially because it is so dark. And even if I wanted to, I could darken this up a touch more by adding a touch of black to the edges. But I feel for the type of night scene that I'm going for, that this Night of Navy is just enough. So you can see we've got the Balmy Blue cardstock, the pretty peacock, and then the touch of Night of Navy. And that is my sponging done. So thank you for sharing, Deb. Nice and simple sponging, and as this dries, the ink will even out a bit more than what it even is now. Okay, now I'm going to just pop these inks up here. I am, before I get any more ink anywhere, pop my sponges back in my wood case box, because that's where they live and that's where they don't contaminate anything else. Now this isn't a precise science, it's a let's close the lid and hope for the best and a bit of shoving. Yay, it closed and there are no sponges. So that's how I keep majority of my sponges, and I generally have a sponge for each colour. So a sponge for brown, I do have a couple of blues, reds, pinks, all that kind of jazz. So that works really well for me. Okay, pop this off to the side. Now this is our piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we are going to use our blender pen to colour this tree in. Look at that, I even grabbed the perfect size block. So that just adds a bit of, I don't know, grounding to the card. Good morning, Miss Glenda, thank you for joining. Okay, so stamp this off here. That's stamping lovely, as I said, garden green. And going to stamp here, leave it there for a few seconds. Beautiful image. I do stamp it off, and what I'm also going to do, by the magic of the block, I'm going to create a little palette on the edge of my block and take my blender pen. So blender pen is for light colouring with our inks. We can use re-inker, we can use the inks out of our ink pads, but you can't go over our Whisper White cardstock very much with the blender pen, otherwise you will cause some pilling. So I'm sort of doing a couple of different techniques here. I watched my girls colour their images in class, and I liked what one of them did. So she went through and went darker where all these lines are. Now this is just one way to colour it. I had one girl do this as a dark tree and kept colouring until she had no colour left, and oh my god, it looked amazing. Looks so good. Okay, so this is a colourless pen. I will show you with the other end. So you can see I'm scribbling and nothing's coming out. Well, there is, I can see a faint liquid coming out, but it's colourless. So this is just a colouring medium pen where I'm picking up the ink, and yeah, this is now what I am going to do. I'm now going to colour in this tree. I am not great using the blender pens, I am the first to admit. I much prefer the blends and aqua painters, but I can't always use those, and this is such a small image that this is just great for doing a light colouring. So I'm not being particular at all. So I've sort of done the light darkest over here because our moon is on this side. So this last tree is going to be the darkest. I'm sort of doing a mixture of things that my girls in class did. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And to clean this off, don't do it on a clean piece. what you do is, I'll make sure there's some colour in it so you can see. You literally scribble off the colour and that is ready to go for another project, which is fantastic. And I will pop this away. Now I'll go and check any comments that I missed. Hey Cherry, hey Kerry, hey Christy, thanks for joining. Yeah, just really simple colouring. They're great. I find the blender pen's great for small images. I just prefer other colour mediums for larger images where I feel like I have a bit more control. Now I am going to grab a baby wipe because we have I have ink on my hands for one, which is never a good thing when I'm working around white cardstock. Oh, and the rain's coming down even harder, so I don't know if you can hear that at all, but because I got the pergola right outside the window, but it's nice soaking rain. I'm thankful for it with my new garden, or my new planting in my garden. And just while I'm here, I'm just going to get this excess off and I will clean it with my Stampin' scrub a little later. That way I can just pop that off to the side and not worry about getting too much ink anywhere. Now I'm sorry, I'm going to have to subject you to this, but now I need to hand cut it out. I would recommend anyone use our snips, but because my hands are the way they are, I have a sprung pair of scissors that don't kill my hand. I would love to send some up your way, Glenda, but really we're about to go on water restrictions ourselves, so we have dearly needed it. So I'm just going on the line. And after I do this, we're just going to assemble the cards. So I've used our silver glimmer paper. I'll talk about what I've used while I'm cutting because I'm sure I can multitask. I used our silver glimmer paper for both the sentiment, which is currently stuck to my water bottle, and for the moon. And I did use a 1.5 inch circle punch for that. I do love our glimmer paper. It doesn't shed, which is always a great thing. Some glimmer papers do shed, which isn't fun at all. Now I just want to talk to you about how I'm cutting here. I'm really not moving my scissors at all. I am opening and closing them. What I'm actually moving is the paper. Now I'm getting to the really hard bit. This is where I will struggle, but I'm happy to share my struggles with you. So I'm just going to cut this out of the big piece, and then I have a scrap left to use on another project. Okay, no, wrong scissors. Right, now we get to Struggle City, where I have not much. Now I'm going to move this punch because I just need the hand space, and this is where I might go very silent as I do all of this, but you guys can watch me struggle. It's just that I've got nothing to hold on to. I'm going to do the easy bits first. Or maybe you can imagine what I've done. In some ways I wish I had done this first. I was thinking about it. Hey Julie, you can hear the rain. It's just come, a band's just come over, but it's all good. Although we do have a local area flood warning, which is fun because my kids' school is in a flood zone, and I went to that high school too, and we always prayed we'd get flooded in, and it never happened in the I went to that brand new school at the end of year 8 and I left in year 12, the 4 years I was there, we never got flooded out. We were so sad. So sad never to get flooded out. But hey, that's just what happens. Sorry, I'm going silent, but you can see here I'm mainly moving the paper and not the cardstock, sorry. Tremoring there for a second. The joys of my hands. Now I do sort of do a weird lefty cut here and I just go down blind on this side and I just really hope for the best, but it worked on my last card. Hooray! Yay! That worked! Woohoo! I know, we really do. Although now my grass, the rain we've had, the little bit of rain we've had, my grass now needs cutting. But it's okay, we've organised it for later in the week if it's not raining still. Okay. Now because I've coloured outside the lines a little bit in places, I have actually helped myself quite a lot, which has been good. Although you're really seeing the full Ellen and what my hands do to me. But hey, it's real life, isn't it? That's okay, we'll get it done as long as you're happy to sit here. It is a quick card to put together, just a tiny bit of hand cutting to get us going for the day. Come on, come on. Oh, stop tremoring and then I'll be fine. It's actually, oh, I don't know, it's not heavy, thick rain, but it's a constant rain currently, which is lovely. Okay, last bit to go, and then I am ready to Stella this up and get going. God, I wish I had pre-done this. I need more hand-holding parts. You should see what my tongue's doing here, girls. You'd all be laughing. I know you're giggling on the inside and feeling for me anyway, but... Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been pouring, although I did drive the kids to school this morning. I was a lovely mummy and did drive the kids to school. I was in my pyjamas, but they don't seem to get embarrassed by that, which is good. I think they were just thankful. And then I said, you can catch a bus home because they can take their school clothes off when they walk in the door, so it's not so bad for them on the way home. Right, now I have about 3 or 4 more cuts to go. I'm going to hold it here and see. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you can see the card, because at this rate the card may not get finished, but that's okay. So at least you can see I have half cut that whole tree, but no one will notice it. Oh, look, 2 more little cuts to go. Okay, hold it at the right angle and I should be fine. Apparently not. This piece of paper is getting in the way. Right, real life crafting at its finest. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that bit there because Yay, hooray, pretty tree. Oh, okay. It's amazing we're not really that far apart. What, about 50 to 100 kilometres as the crow flies? But yeah. Okay. So I have a thick Whisper White card base. And I am going to, because this already has a bend on the back, but the back of the card really doesn't matter. Okay, have my bone folder and get in my hand the right way. Give that a burnish. Lovely. Now, I have resurrected this glue, which had stuck itself shut. It's letting out a lot of glue because I resurrected it. But I might nurse it through. Okay. Whoops. Now make sure your night sky's the right way round and not upside down. Oh, I need to bring this down just a touch to cover that. I could see that happening. Just a bit of glue oozing. Now if I really want to be pedantic here and just make sure that that is straight, which it is, surprisingly. It looked crooked. Okay, I just need to poke out a couple of bits in here. So this die cut really, really well, but there are just a couple of fine bits that I need to give some encouragement to. I'm just being careful because it is a fine die cut just to support these areas. But I do love the detail of the bottom of this sleigh. Just giving them a pop, and then I can tease the coils out, because I have done this a couple of times before. Because generally if I've made a card in a class, by the time I get to you, it's the third time I've made the card. So I've learned all my tips and tricks and whatnot. Come on. Okay, just one more curly whirly. Oh, this straight bit doesn't want to just, it's there but doesn't want to disengage. There we go. We can go up the top. So this is going to go there. What I want to do is just grab back out. Now we only need, I do say this in the hope, but no, of course not. Just a tiny bit of glue. But that one daub shared across the whole thing. Ah, such a good idea, Julie. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining. Okay. Now, I feel I'm a bit high there with my trees. So what I want to do here is just pull them down a touch, not all the way off, but just pull them down a touch. And I am going to grab my Wing Castella. Hopefully this is not the almost note, this is the good one. And I'm just going to paint. It will reactivate the ink slightly, so you just want to be quick with it and just coat these because they're shimmery from the Shimmery Moon. Now I'll bring back in my scrap piece and just make sure I scribble off any of the excess green ink that I may have picked up. It does. I do like this card. It's quite simple. Despite the hand cutting, it is a very simple card. So this is my 1.5 inch circle punched moon. And I just want this flat on the card. I do try and use wet glue on the back of our foils because it's a slightly slippery surface and it just works better if you use wet glue on that rather than using snail glue dots. Work really well as well. Okay, so we've got that. Now to adhere this, I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals. So sorry for knocking the stand there. So with the mini dimensionals, these fit just perfectly behind the reindeer. So I sort of put 2 on each reindeer and then a couple on the sleigh because it's a bit thin up where Santa's head is. Thank you, Karen. I have seen this same card and I'll show you the one in the catalogue. I've seen this same card made a couple of different ways and I just wanted to try and make the sponging or the colouring of the night sky as easy as possible, and I felt it was easiest on a smaller piece of paper, just more achievable than using the whole piece and knocking it's just harder to get the gradients right on that size piece of paper. So I just thought, now I'm skipping a couple here because they've lost their backing. Okay, so they are all adhered. Itchy nose. So now I've just got to pop the backing off all of these. We have no doggy visitor today. She must be very warm and comfortable on her bed. And I was going to go out for lunch today because David's got a day off, but we decided not to go out in the rain because we're smart people, or we try to be, and these dimensionals are sticking to. Okay, so once we get this sleigh in the right place, sleigh and reindeer, I can then put all the rubbish off to the side because it will stick to me. Right, so I sort of want him just above the trees, just so everything's connected, and the reindeer going into the moon. So I quite like that arrangement. And then I'm going to disengage my, just making sure all the backing's off. Yes, it is. So I've just got to get out a couple of these bits out of the jolly. And it's just there. Oh my dear word. I'm going to bring back in this piece so everything can stick to it. Because this is currently just tacky sticky. Okay, that O came out nicely. That L came out on my finger and will continue to stick to me. Oh, that's stuck to the back. Would have been better if the backing paper that I stuck on would have stayed. And then I've just got a tiny bit in the O and the B, but they may not pop because they weren't liking me the other day. So what I did, I just indented them because these very thin die cuts, oh, it did. They came out. Woohoo! They're not fantabulous on the glitter, but I make them work because they look so great. Now this, to be jolly, I do not want to be straight on purpose, and the reason it didn't die cut great on the 2 and the B is because I used sticky paper on the back, so I ran it through a number of times to make it work a little better. And that's the card. So I like that I'm following the angle of that. My pleasure. So you got a bit of sponging. You got to see my hand cutting at its not so finest. So what did we use? We used Garden Green, Pretty Peacock, Night of Navy ink. We used, and I just lost the die that we used. We used the Holly Jolly Season dies. We used the Holly Jolly Christmas stamp set. That's the card. And where's, oh, I bought that blender pen away. We used the blender pen and we used the Wink of Stella. So, oh, and of course we used the glimmer paper, but a fairly low, and we used sponges. Sponges. How could I forget the sponges? So we used all of those, and I knew that one was, nothing wants to stay. Right. Hello, Miss Alicia. You're just popping on at the end. I am more, rah. Do I need to get cross with these? Stay. So just 3 colours, and the white and the silver, 1 bundle, and just a few accessories to make. I'm so sorry, guys. I totally knocked this. No one told me. God, tell me when I knock these things. I really did knock it. How long have I been off screen? I'm so sorry. Right, let's see how we go now. That's better. You can actually see what I've used. Right. So, oh, afternoon, Leanne. Sorry I missed you there. Yes, please watch a replay if you've popped in at the end to see all my glorious hand cutting in its finest. At least I show you how I do it, hey. So I am going to go, oh, okay. Just, I was on an odd angle, but that's all. I'm so glad I wasn't off screen. Thank you, Pamela. So I hope to be back on Friday because I am getting my greys covered in my hair on Thursday, so I won't be around at lunchtime. So have a lovely rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday to show you one of the other cards that we made in class, and I hope I might even be back on the weekend, which will be fun. So you guys have a lovely rest of your week. I do hope some of this rain for the Australians makes it your way, but I must say we're enjoying it while we've got it. So if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to ask. If not, I will see you next time. Bye.